Good morning, Salty Gamers. Welcome to the third month of this account. So let's get into it. Claim the rewards as usual. So we put up a poll on YouTube community. Some of you thankfully answered it. So let's just get the results in. So the poll was to see if we would continue on our path to get Jedi Training Ray before GAC, or if we would get the requirements for Star Killer so we could go for him as well, or close to. And Star Killer's won by 60% to 40%. So we'll be changing our focus to Star Killer, but also farming First Order up. So just claim these, ignore this. So a big thank you to all for all the support of all our subscribers. We've hit our goal of 20 subscribers, actually went over it, it's 21. So the next goal is to get to 25 by March. So please share this far and wide and let's see if we can hit that goal. So without further ado, let's clear some of this. It'll be a wee bit of a shorter video. We'll do some Cantina battles and do the dailies. So just clearing all these. So we've saved up a fair amount of credits this week. We're on just over 10 mil. Still farming the same type of mods. We've hit level 79 now, so we're getting there. So we're actually on 11,300,000. So in the squad arena we finished Admiral Akbar. We're hitting about 500 tokens a day. So I'm using it to just bulk up as much of this gear as we possibly can. Squad War Store currency, we are finishing off Phasma. We've got 3 more runs at Phasma. And then we're also working on the ships that we're going to need for the Radis. In the fleet store, if they're not flagged, they don't get bought. So I'll buy Razor Crest because we're going to need that and it takes forever. So we've got Ahsoka's ship as well, so we'll get that. In the guild events, we're mainly picking up again gear. We're keeping the Get 2 currency we can't use yet till we're on 65. But our Get 1, we're focusing on the ships that we need, or the characters that we need just to push them on, if not getting gear. And then eventually we'll switch over to these two to start building them up for that journey. In the shard shop, if we end up getting enough shards, we just purchase any gear that we needed. Onto the store, we've got 6,000 points. Every so often I use the alt clicker and just open them all. In the arena, we're sitting under the 200s all the time. In fleet, we can't seem to break past that at the moment. On squad arena, we've been down as far as in the 200s. It just depends on what teams pop up to fight. So, Galactic War, we're still clearing that every day, so that's a guaranteed 600,000. Still using the same team as last week. Unfortunately, it's going to bug me. We're sitting at 300 gems, so we're going to live on 300 gems forevermore. So onto the character screen. So we had farmer gear for these. So we're still farming these characters for BB-8. And we're going to move on to these 4 characters for Kylo Ren. And then we're still farming Lando for his ship, L3. I brought up so we can deactivate the ship. We'll have Dash Rendar. And these 2 will farm up eventually as well. So this is going to be our next smuggler team. That's why it's there, but we're going to focus firstly on Kyle Katarn, Dash Rendar, then Darth Talon, and obviously Mara Jade as well, which also play into our Galactic War team and our Dark Side team, so that works there into this team. We've got Vader at 6 there, so I'm just going to promote him now. This team's all at gear 9, so we're not putting them up in not putting up any gear apart from Mara Jade for now, just because I pull one to push for Starkiller. So we've got Cantina farms here. I've moved the Starkiller requirements from the Cantina into the Cantina farms, and then the hard nodes as well. I've actually not added the hard node in for Mara Jade, so let's just add her in there. That's just for ease for myself to find them and know what currency we're using. Shop farms, this is how it's looking now. Oh, we could activate, we've got resistance, I've brought resistance pilot up in gear because we're using the ship now. So we're getting up there, and then these teams are still the same to one day eventually build up, and this is our journey guide teams to know what we need. So we're getting there, so I'll just do the farm for this. Nice 2 shards for first order, so we've got the 20% drop rate there. We've got a quite a higher drop rate on Sith Trooper there, 40%. Just a reminder, the reason we're doing the hard node ones is eventually we'll also go for Supreme Leader Kylo, who needs all the first order characters, and these are the longest ones to farm. So, and the rest are in the cantina. So it means that we could leave our cantina energy for other things. Such as farming the Starkiller requirements, or farming the Training Ray requirements. And then the last farm that we do is to make sure we try and farm this ship. No. So the ship's taking forever to pull out, unfortunately. So we'll keep at it, and then because we've got some spare energy now, we'll come here, we'll go into this one to farm Chirotechs, which will be the bane of everybody's existence. And then farm as many Chirotechs as we can. And we've got none. Fantastic. So we need 50 just to get Marajade up to gear 9. And I think it's about 150, 250 that we need for all the circular requirements. So we'll just collect our crystals and energy, crystals and credits and XP. Do a quick match in here. So his team is faster. So unfortunately you got the turn meter going, so we'll just forfeit out of that because there's no point watching at defeat. Onto the fleet battles. Once we've farmed our ships, we come in here and we farm this node, 3C, so we get our HoloLenses, which are gear 13, and our hypo syringes, which we need constantly. And the resistance leveling up, gearing up needs about 2,500 of them. So perfect. We don't want really Lando shards, we prefer the ship shards, so that's perfect. We've got lots of Lando shards and we've got very little Falcon shards. And we'll just keep farming this. Enhance the ship. Easy way to do that to keep your currency coming in is just go to enhance and then just do one level. Fire it in, it's only 570 credits, you get more for the daily. Obviously that will go up and it keeps the GP of the ship down, so then it's not bumping your overall galactic power up. Fleet challenges. So we're still needing to bring up these ships so we can get this one, which will unlock our Zeta. But that's okay. We're not in a mad rush for Zetas. They'll come. We'll get hate in the comments most likely for not rushing to get Zetas, but it's okay, they'll come. So this is a free to play account, so the goal for free to play is quite simply slow and steady will win the race. Don't expect miracles. If you want miracles, invest a bit of money into the game to speed up your progress with with crystal refreshes or the hyperdrive bundle. Otherwise, relax, take your time, enjoy the game and see how you go. So oddly enough, the lowest ship is the one that survived. So I'm just going to forfeit this because we're going to lose it. And we're on to the Cantina battles. So the goal is to get down to at least here. Actually the whole of 6 finished. Because I think, let's just check. Do I have to do some of this off stream because we don't have enough Cantina energy? But if we go to Darth Talon, because she'll be the further away one. Yeah, so I need to do all of 6 and all of 7 to be able to, not that one, to be able to start farming them. But as long as we could get 6A and then 6B, C, D, 6E to begin with, that will be our 2 farms then out. And we'll also find a team. Dash will be using a team straight away, but we'll also find a team for them. Oh, tight neck. So these battles should go fairly quick. I left the farm in the Cantina just to give some content for today, and then I'll go over the journey guide and why we're doing a break off and show you the Starkiller requirements. Well, why we're doing the break off is because the pole 1 but the reason behind the pole I'll explain in a little bit more detail. Sit up again because I tend to slouch. So there's one of our pilots that we'll need to eventually farm up as well for the Ebon Hawk, which is one of the ships we're going to need for the Radis. So that'll be the longest goal on that'll be the longest journey on getting our Galactic Legendary. And just to reiterate why this account's free to play, not putting money into the account, it's simply to show what everyone can achieve on the game. You know, anybody can play free to play. You don't need any money because it's free, so the kids can play it, adults can play it, people that don't have a lot of money, etc. Can all do the exact same as what I'm doing, or variations of it, whereby if I was putting money into it, then it would only show that this is what money gives, and money only gives extra. So if we were to put money into this account, which I'm not adverse to, I can do as we go, I want to get to at least 85 before I even look at that, so I can show the journey to level 85. But the only thing I would put into this account is buying Bosk's pack, which I'll show you, or crystals. That's the only thing I would use them only for refreshes. The crystals for refreshes, and that's the only thing that will be used to increase the progress. Everything else, you buy character packs, they're not really worth it, because you still need to farm the gear, and you need to farm get the credits as well. So you could sit with a load of characters but not be able to use them. So it's not as worth it to buy the character packs unless you're buying the overall Hyperdrive bundle and you do it early on, then it's fine. So that's my recommendations, same with many other content creators out there that have played the game a lot longer than myself. And on that note of other content creators, I watch probably just the same YouTubers as a lot of the rest of you that are watching this one do, so I get a lot of my hints of how to, what gear to farm, where to farm it, what works well, how different characters work from them, their recommendations, and then I use that and then go my own path as well to make it my own. Hence why I'm also going for Galactic Legends Ray, because it's one of the more hated Galactic Legends, so it's not as popular. So it'll be a fun wee challenge for us. Let's just use it. Lando, because he increases the speed of scoundrels, which all the bounty hunter are scoundrels. So I'm using the bounty hunters just because, why not? But plus it allows us to trail out them and see how far we go through this. As you can see, they're working quite well. Now Kirstantin and Leia are only 2 stars. 6 star, I think Dengar and Cad Bane are 6 star, and then I think Zam Wessel's 5 stars. So they're not massively starred, and they're all gear 8. And the punch up with these grenades the now, if you get a good match up with them. Obviously this is just AI Cantina battles, but they should help with the credit heist that should be coming shortly, which everybody's going to be needing. And then we'll also have them geared up more for GEC. And the first few GACs are going to be extremely rough, where we're going to lose a lot of matches. But that's okay, because our goal isn't to do, fly up the ranks on GAC, which is the Grand Arena for those that might not know what that is. It's the end game PvP side, which is great to fly up to Khyber, which is the higher divisions. But we're not as interested at this stage to get up there. We will at some point, as I said. It's a marathon, not a sprint, so we'll get there. What we're doing is building our foundation, going for our Galactic Legend, and also gearing for Conquest. What we want to do is get characters for Conquest, which is a game mode that comes around every month for level 85 players that unlocks new characters. The newest character being Admiral Trench from the Clone Wars series. The series, not the film. If you've not watched it, I highly recommend watching it. Yes, it's a cartoon, but it's not a kids' cartoon as such. Kids can watch it, but there's a lot of stuff in there that's geared to adults as well. And it's Star Wars, so you get all your favourite Star Wars characters, and most of it from the Clone Wars era. And then you've also got Rebels, which is the between 3 and 4. So you get to know how the rebellion sort of followed, how the rebellion started, bring the journey of the Phoenix Squad that we were using at the start. So it's quite good to watch that. If you're into Star Wars and into following all the lore of it, you'd be as well. So we've got our contract up. So the Ewok we're using on the far side is one that we're going to be using when we go for 3PO. And that should be it. Oh, no. So Cad Bane, he first appears in the Clone Wars, then he also appears in the Book of Boba. Boushh Leia appears in The Return of the Jedi. So Zam Wesell, Attack of the Clones, is a bounty hunter that is hired by Jango to go and take out Padme. Boushh Leia is Leia in her bounty hunter's uniform for saving Han in Return of the Jedi. Dengar is one of the bounty hunters on the episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, when he's on the Executor, going to be hunting down the Millennium Falcon and Han Solo with his crew. Chris Stanton appeared in the Book of Boba. And Cad Bane, Clone Wars, Bad Batch and Book of Boba. So there you go, there's the background of the bounty hunters, just because they're not as familiar as the famous Boba Fett or Jango Fett. So we've got the contract up real quick. So we're going to need to watch Chris Stanton himself. He got hit hard there.